Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. And today we're going to take a look at the tangle Eclipse by Debbi Minero. Now there is another Eclipse tangle out there. This one is by Debbi. It was just after or during, let's see, this last eclipse we had here in 2024. And it's just really, really neat. So we had fun with this today in our Tangle Time sessions because today it is Thursday, which is Tangle Time Day. And let's see, let's see. Oh yeah, because I was looking at some notes because Deb had popped onto our session and she's been busy with work and stuff, and she mentioned she hasn't had a lot of time. And that she said, yeah, when it popped into her head, she basically wrote it down, thinking, a crescent moon eclipsing the sun was her thought behind this. So, and it was funny because it took me the second session. I'm like, oh, look I see crescent moon in there. So it was just really, really cool. And what a fun tangle. All right, so let's get at it. This can be done a number of ways. I'm going to use the full tile. I'm going to just do one big one, but you could use this in a grid, however you want to do it. All right, it starts off with this double line. Oh good. I have my good pen. Okay. Well, that just means it. I think. Well, no. I have a better one somewhere. Can you see? Wait, let's see. Can you see the nib? Oh, here's the better one. Wearing it right down to the middle. All right, let's use the better one. You'll see the difference here in a second. Every once in a while, it's like, is this running out of ink? No, it's just running out of nib. Look at that nice thicker. Look at the difference. All right, so if your pens are start acting like that, all right, it's just funny. Okay, now there we go. All right, so once you have this, then on either side, coming in a little bit from, wherever, the sides of this are, then we're going to do just a nice C-shaped curve line, which would be crescent moon. The beginning of crescent moon, we'll say that. Then on the other side, same thing. Deb does point out in her step out, just as I have nicely done, that it does not matter if they line up. All right, from here. Now this, depending on how you work, I debated things in my head as like, well, am I going to cause myself problem if I just start here and go out? And it didn't. It really didn't. And that's following Deb's step out. So a little ways up here on the shoulder-ish of that curve line, just a nice straight line out to your corner. Now, as we had some that went rogue in today's, I think it was just the PM one. It was Mom's fault because she started it, and wanted to do this on an angle. You just have to be careful. So it's, you're coming from here and you're just drawing a line straight out. So if you have this on the diagonal, things are going to look different. You just have to think about it. I give you that warning. And if you want to see the results, I should have them ready, hopefully soon. Maybe tomorrow, actually. We'll see. Tomorrow or Saturday. But if you go to the description section of this video, and I've done more than one step at a time here, and I will back up. Go to the description section. You will see the links for the step outs. Below that is my Linktree link, and that has everything social media, everything. Go find my website link. Go there, subscribe to my blog, because when I put out the recap post, that's what I call it, I'll have the screenshot so that way you can see what everybody did. And then close-up pictures of those that post on our Tangle Addicts community Facebook group, and ones that email it to me after the fact, so if they're not on Facebook. Because that way, it's just so nice to see, a nice clear picture. And sometimes we're not done. So, anyway, so it like I said, it's so neat to see how everybody's mind works and their creativity work. It's just so cool. All right, so in the step outs, let me back up because I did do too many. And you can do them all at once like this, or you can do like this and do it one at a time. Each step intern and then coming back. This one, on my version of the step out, I did combine it into one step because it was fine. Sometimes I will divide things up just myself from somebody else's step out because I need to. It's like, okay, let me figure out how you did this, and then I need the clarity in my mind, and then sometimes it's like, well, I think people might need that help. This one I was being lazy and I wanted to see how few I wanted to just use my 6 square grid, but then I ended up going over anyway, so it didn't matter. It's just funny. But this, it's separated enough and it's easy to see. Sometimes people put too many steps in one box and it's confusing. All right, but something like this. Yeah. All right, then we're going to aura on these sides. So this is kind of like the crescent moon. Now, if you wanted to, you don't have to, because Deb shows us doing a curve line here and then a curve line here. I'm going to flip to the other side, and then I'll finish my sentence. And then over here as well. And so she says it doesn't matter if things line up. Don't worry about it. And I completely agree. But you can see how we have, you could, if you really wanted to, you could think of this as one big curve line and like aura-ing that crescent moon, right? Just such a creative tangle, and we didn't know the story in Deb's mind until really at the end of the PM session, and it was like, yeah. So we were kind of seeing it, but we were enjoying the tangle anyway. It's one of those doesn't matter, and that's it. Except you get to play. And so let's see. Let's just do shading on this one, and then I'll show you the fun that I had with it in a second here. You should see the sea of pencils. I'm not going to show you, but I have a sea of pens and pencils, and I still can't find anything. Okay. So lots of things you can do, and I really like this. Oh, look, it went over here. Oh, maybe I'll just bring that in a little further. So I'm going to shade here. I didn't notice this until Mom had pointed it out. Deb did shading on either side of this, which could make it look kind of ribbon-ish, but it is kind of neat. And I'm gonna bring it up as far as I can, so that way you don't see that bit there that I just pointed out to you. Right? See? Oh, I did it on the other side too. Doesn't matter. But that makes it look like a neat band, right? You could think of it as the curvature of the earth. I don't know. All right, and then let's see. You know what? I didn't do this. On my version of the step out, I think I filled this in solid, and then I'm not looking at it, so I don't remember exactly what I did. But I'm going to do, in the spirit of that, this is crescent moon. Let's fill that one in as soon as I locate my graphic one here. And what's neat about this, like I mentioned, you could do this in a grid, and then you could have these going the same way. You could have them going alternating ways, completely up to you, of course. You can, if you do this large, you can turn it into a reticula, which is essentially just a big structure like a string that houses a bunch of other tangles. Wow, that feels really weird. Well, maybe it's getting old. I don't know. Doesn't feel as it's going on nice and dark. It just feels kind of dry. Weird. Ooh, and maybe, just maybe, let's see if I can course correct that unevenness after I do it. I'm going to fill it in the way it is and then take a peek, because sometimes you can do it, sometimes you can't. Sometimes expanding, one area, it might goof something else up. So that's why it's good to, if you're going to use the course correction of filling in to adjust something, it's one of those, fill it in, the way it is, and then take a good look and see, See if I can. Oh, I think I can. So if I bring this out, or actually let me come from this direction. And what I do is I just trace over the edge just a little bit, so that way I'm bringing it out just a little bit, and that makes me feel a little bit better. So there, it's a little bit more even. Love the fill in for that reason. It's just so neat. Okay, then let's let's put some graphite here. Let's do these auras. We'll make them aura-esque. Yes, I'm making up words because I like to. This is similar to one of the ones that I did, sort of. Oh, might as well. And let me just tell, I mean, I on Thursdays I'm just always still reeling like the whole night, the whole day, because I do 2 sessions, and by the way, they're free. If you've not heard me, well, I pretty much talk about it all the time. If this is the first time that you've watched me, these are free sessions that I do on Thursdays, and we just take a tangle, maybe 2, it just depends on what it is, and I share it, and then it's like, okay, go have fun. And and Mom and I are talking through what we're doing, and it's it's a lot of fun. It really is. Come and join us sometime, and if you look at that at my link tree, you will find, oh, look at how cool that is. Should I do should I do these? I think maybe I'll just shade. Oh, sorry, table's a little bouncy. I know some did this where they just did one side, but I don't want to do it. Let's just do, you know what? Let's just do up the line first and see what that looks like. This is one of those where you can't decide. Just try a little, think in steps. Ooh, I kind of like that versus like filling the whole thing in, because you could do that as well. We had some that did that, and it kind of makes it look kind of compass rose-ish. Oh, I like, oops, let me get that all the way to the, yeah, makes a difference, go into that next section just a little bit, because you saw, let me see if I do it again, and then I can show you. See how like I cut it off just before? And then if I do that with the, with the graphite, see, it just doesn't look right until you just bring it right in there. And then, yeah. It's just so cool. Anyway, I'm sure I was saying something and I interrupted myself, because I do that all the time. I'm so rude. Oh, I know. I was gushing over. I just reel all day over, just from all of the fun that we had, just the creativity. Oh, that looks so cool. And just the neatness of Zentangle. And the concepts that are put together. It's just really cool. And I mean, and the philosophies. So the concepts, and maybe it's more the philosophies. There's no such thing as a mistake. It doesn't, our Tangle Addicts motto of it just really doesn't matter, which kind of goes along with it. This is like when something goes not the way you expected it, go with it. See what happens. You might create something new. You might create something better than what was already there. You just don't know. And we should, give whatever happens a chance and see. And it's a hard concept, really, to do, because a lot of us are, you can be perfectionistic, or just the whole, like, there's a right or wrong way, and maybe there's no difference between perfectionism and that. I don't know. But anyway, it's just such a fun thing. And then, to get your head, for me, get my head wrapped around the idea of, oh, let's just play. Well, I wonder what that would look like. Well, why don't we just do it and see? And that's the only way to find out. And then once you kind of get used to doing it, and then it just becomes a part of you. And it's just so absolutely amazing. So I hope you enjoyed this tangle. Oh my gosh. It's just, like I said, it's so fun. Let me show you what I did. This was my AM version. I decided, well, it's an Eclipse. And so I kind of went cosmic-y on it, and it doesn't matter. And just to, by the way, if you see these really faint lines, so I was using some of the grays, but then I also decided to grab my UV pens. Some of the black like showing up on this. I mean, you can see them without they on a white surface. They're just clear, but I used the red and the green. I didn't use the blue one. But these are by Sakura. They come with this little light. It's just a fun little extra thing. And I thought, well, while I'm going cosmic-y, I might as well, let's use the UV pens and have a blast. All right, so that was it. And I used Doodah in here. And this is where it was the PM session. I was looking back at this. I'm like, oh, look I made Crescent Moon in there. And I didn't think about it. And then I didn't think about it till after that. I'm like, oh, look the whole thing is a crescent moon. I'm having dense moments today, apparently. But so this was a lot of fun. And then this was, and you can kind of see, I used the gray jelly rolls. So they have a set of grays, and it's either 5 or 6 pens, and they have like warm grays and cool grays. And I thought, well, I just wanted to play with it. I had, I think it was Rosemary. I used her inspiration, and she had little boxes. It was much nicer, her version. I'm like, oh, I want to just do that, and so I did. But I'm just moving it, so maybe there. If I move it this way, you can see. I used 3 different colors of grays and white, and some silver in there for the little extras, and I don't know. I am just particularly tickled with my popping out of this centerpiece. That's amazing. It is just a piece of paper. Look at that magic. It's just so cool. All right. All right, that's it. Okay. So you too can have this much fun. Come and join us. We would love to have you. All right. I mentioned, I don't know if I finished my sentence, so I'm going to repeat myself just in case. If you enjoyed this, please click on the like button. If you want to see more, would love it if you subscribe to the channel. I mentioned the description section, so links to Stepouts, links to connect with me for more fun. If you'd like to join our Tangle Addicts community Facebook group, there's a link for that. There are 4 questions that you must answer in order to gain entry, and I think that's it. Yeah, check out the classes. A lot of them are free, like I mentioned. Thursdays are always free. I do have some paid ones, but you can check that out on my website. So with that, thank you so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.